That's a perfect ending. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
It is January, 15th? 14th. And it's time for our Q&A.
Yay!
You guys asked a lot of questions this week.
Yes. Was it because last week was so short?
Short. I'm having a bad hair day, so I'm wearing my hat inside.
I gave up on my hair. It's always bad. Oh, speaking of which, before I forget, I have something for all of you guys. So, these two always mention, like, this color doesn't suit me. So, out of Aunt Heather's knowledge that I never told her, I'm going to let you guys pick what my hair color should be next.
That'll be fun.
So, next month, I'm going to re-dye my hair. It's probably going to have to get bleached first. So, you all can pick a crazy color or a normal color. I vote crazy because I like the crazy because I'm me. But if you guys want me to try a normal color, tell me in the bottom and I'll go for it.
All right.
The most ones
wins. The color that's picked the most wins.
Yes. That one. That's what
Wait,
she
do we
said.
get a choice?
Yeah, did we get a choice?
Are
Do
you
we
guys-
get to vote?
Because my vote was like a blonde, but not like a bright blonde, but like a natural blonde. Because I think that's what you are, because that's what I am. The older I get, the darker my roots are getting. But
Yeah, I used to be a natural blonde and then it started to turn a dirty blonde.
dark.
yeah, that's like me. Exactly like me.
Alright.
That's my vote. What's yours?
I like her as blonde, and I
Yeah.
actually like the one where she was blonde up top and dark in the bottom.
Yeah.
Was really cute.
What do you guys think?
So yeah.
Now let's get
Cool.
to your questions.
Now let's answer your questions.
All right, so we went through a whole bunch of the question on the community page. So we'll start with some of those. Rana Husky. So you're trying to heat the container with the wood stove. Why do you have the container doors cracked open?
Because they won't shut all the way. And I think I answered that, and I sometimes forget that you guys are asking those questions to be answered on this. But when we moved the shipping container, it jostled those, and they won't shut all the way. So we're framing that in and doing a wood framing and closing that in. We're using the 2x6s so we can get a whole lot of insulation in there. We'll spray foam it around, but I do want those doors to be able to open and close. So, I don't know. But that's kind of the reason for that.
We've had a few of you kind of talk about this a little bit. Pamela said, I know it's late because you probably already done it, but put the backing board instead of shutting down the stove, picking it up, etc.
Oh, okay. So on the floor, we are going to cut that. I didn't want to cut it because I wanted there to be more space in the in front and it be a solid piece. But at this point, I don't think it matters as much.
Yeah.
I know that you're supposed to have a certain amount of non-burnable area in front, but if we do that, then we're going to have like this step up, step down into the kitchen thing, and it's going to be just enough to trip me. Because I'm that person.
With how graceful we all are, it's going to trip everybody.
It's going to be, yeah. So I think that's what we've decided to do is just cut that and go from there. So yeah.
Melissa wants to know, how about a sliding glass door? That way you could have the light and you wouldn't have to ever open the doors, but it would be the light you wanted. I'm wondering if she's talking about on the end where
She is on the
window
end.
is.
And that's a really good idea, except that we are having a counter go across there. So you'd lose that whole half anyway, which is why we're doing that great big huge window. And that great big huge window takes pretty much the whole thing. So the whole upper half that you'd actually be able to see in and out of anyway is going to end up being window.
On a nice note, it doesn't take up half the cake.
Half the what?
Cake.
What cake?
The cake that's in the truck, because we got a lot of cake.
Okay, I don't understand how that goes with that question, but okay.
You're just like, it doesn't take up all of this or half of this. It just takes up this much. And I was like, well, at least it doesn't take up half the cake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
My jokes suck.
Keep working on them.
He's
It's
working.
okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, they tell me jokes and it's like, cricket noise. And it's like, sure.
So no, half of that will be window. That'll bring a ton of light in, and then there'll be another window on the west side of the shipping container. So that whole end will bring in a ton of light. And the sliding glass door is actually going on the west side in the center. That will bring you into the living room.
Yeah.
And so that'll be able to be used a lot.
And so there will be a lot of light on that end. I can't talk.
Exactly.
Easy for me to say.
Exactly.
Well, a lot of light on that end as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Wade wants to know, the studding, are you using 2x6 or 2x4?
So the studding on the end wall is 2x6. Again, because we want that thick insulation. On the studding, the studs inside the shipping container are actually 2x3s, and they will be in front of the pink styrofoam, and then that's enough for the wiring and the water lines to go through, and then we'll fill that full of rock wool insulation. It's the insulation that can get wet, and then we'll put that in front of that. I did talk to Randy, and he said, and I think Ron or somebody mentioned it also, that putting the plastic up with the wood burning stove is actually not a good idea, because the wood burning stove will dry everything out, so there won't be any sweating. Unless you have the plastic up, then it will sweat on the inside of the plastic and will cause mold and stuff to grow. So I don't think we're putting the plastic up anymore. We're just going to continue framing it this way, and then we'll be good to go. We did, you'll see a video next week that shows that the roof was sweating because of the snow on top, and we haven't gotten any of that insulation in. But that being said, that was scary.
Wow.
Shots fired. That being said, I actually pulled one of the pink insulations off to see if there was any sweating behind it, and there was none. So I don't think we're going to have a problem at all with the walls. I do think the ceiling may be an issue, which means I might not put the pink insulation on top up there, because if it's breathable, then the wood stove will dehydrate all of that out, and there shouldn't be any sweating, is what I was told. So we'll look more into that, and we'll talk to Randy a little bit more about that. Randy has built many houses and been in this industry for a very long time, and he's kind of my building mentor. I just hired him. Volunteered him for the job last night.
Yeah, he'll be coming up in some of the videos.
He's going to be helping me step by step so that I can do it right, because the sweating is a really big issue.
Yeah. So Pamela wants to know, are you going to take the doors off? Sometimes I just can't figure out what you're talking about.
Girl, me neither. I think I just say all the words.
She occasionally word vomits and then forgets that she didn't organize her words.
Exactly.
Before she word vomits.
We are not taking the doors off. I really like the look with the doors on, and I like to keep the integrity of the actual shipping container. I want to be able to see that it's a shipping container. So the doors will be on, and they will be movable, and they can open and close.
But then there'll just be a big old window.
Right. There'll be a huge window in there, and they'll be open all the time. And the wraparound deck will go around into the front too, or that end.
Oh, it was Poor Man's Homestead that had talked to you about the bus.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was talking about you earlier.
Yeah. Nicely. I said nice things.
Yeah, it was nice.
Were you
He's
on
like,
the
well,
bus?
No.
Oh, his comment was, I don't understand why it would sweat, because my bus is all metal like a shipping container, and with the wood stove it doesn't sweat. It doesn't even sweat with propane furnace going. So he said, I don't know what the difference is between a bus and a shipping
I
container.
do know that the RV windows sweat really bad with
Yes.
the propane heat. So I know that's an issue. But the using the wood stove for heat, which dries your air out so much that as long as it can breathe, we won't have to. So I had told Randy your question, what you had said, your comment, and he had said, yeah, I don't understand why you're using plastic. And I'm like, because everybody told me to. So that was why we were doing it. And he was like, no. They started doing that, I think, back in the 80s is what he said, and then they ended up having a whole lot of sick houses. So if you're wood stove is large enough to heat the area properly, then it will actually dehydrate the area, and that's why you have to use a humidifier all the time, or something to get water in the air because it just gets too dry. So I really appreciate that comment. It made me ask him a little bit more, and so we're 99.999 not going to use the plastic, and we're going to return that.
There's 1 point. Maybe. There's always a chance.
There's always a chance.
Let's see. Mario wants to know, what kind of adhesive are you using? It looks like Gorilla brand.
It is a Gorilla brand. I don't think we. Ooh,
he's like,
there's one right there.
He's like, great stuff, makes construction adhesive that can be used in extreme conditions.
Yeah, and I need to look for that.
Well, I think we got a couple different brands actually to try.
Not for this. This I bought Gorilla. It was a Gorilla Glue.
Oh, it is Gorilla.
It's Gorilla Glue. It's heavy duty construction adhesive. And it's for pretty much everything. The one thing about this that was so important was you couldn't use an adhesive that would cause the styrofoam to melt. And this stuff specifically says that it can be used on the styrofoam and that it won't melt the styrofoam. So that was the stuff that I found where I was looking. And then Randy also said that you can use the spray foam and use it to adhere it all together. So I think we'll end up, I'm going to be doing some spray foam at the bottom and spray foam at the top and that kind of stuff, sealing it all in so that it's completely sealed thing. So yeah, my brain's kind of gone. But that was why I picked that, because you could use it on the foam board.
A couple people are talking about the wax on the floor and how to get it off.
Yeah.
Some are saying scrape it. Some are saying iron it with paper towels.
Yeah, I did know about the ironing, but we don't have electric up there, and we don't have an iron.
We're hoping the wood stove will get hot enough that it will get liquidy and we can just soak it up.
I'll probably end up scraping it or trying to get it to melt a little bit, and then I can sop it up that way. I don't know if the wood stove is going to do it, because we had it at like 600 the other day and it didn't melt it. So
didn't get it softer.
Well, the heat rises, so.
But it might end up, it might end up doing that if once all the insulation's in.
Right.
Can't believe I dropped that.
Scratch and sniff floors.
Yes.
That's what somebody had said. I think it was Debbie. I don't remember, but sorry, whoever said that. But Danny is a man of few words. We just wanted to say thank you for always commenting.
Yes.
And it would be nice to hear something you say every once in a blue moon, other than the flags and the waving and the coffee.
Hey, but I like drinking coffee in America and waving at people.
And we appreciate you watching. Let's see. Oh, it was Deb that said scrape the wax off the floor.
Yeah.
All right. How close... So Donald wants to know, how close are we to 5,000 subscribers?
I think when I checked a little bit ago, it was 4,930. I think we're playing the YouTube game of drop subscribers. That happens every now and then where YouTube will just delete people. So, if you're watching this and we're not coming up on your feed anymore, you need to resubscribe or check and make sure that you're subscribed and that you've hit the bell notification, because we had like 50 subscribers drop.
Just gone.
Just kind of gone. And it's now working its way back up. But, yeah, we actually are looking at a giveaway at 5,000 and doing a live show. And we have a sponsor that's willing to give something. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah. And Donna subscribed to Compliments of Donald. So thank you, Donna.
Hey, thanks, Donna.
And thank you, Donald.
Yes.
Sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. Oops.
We're trying to find the easiest ways to organize all the questions and stuff. So
Yes. Priscilla has a question for Kira.
What?
Do you enjoy splitting the wood? It looks like the perfect job for you, and you're really good at it.
I do enjoy it. The wood splitter does make it easy, but I just get annoyed with having to lift the logs up. I enjoy using the splitting maul instead, mostly because I'm using more particular muscles than I am when I'm using the wood splitter. I enjoyed doing it when I was at my mom's place because, how do I say this nicely? I've had a lot of anger issues, so wood splitting was a very nice way to
Burn off some energy.
burn off a lot of that bottled
Good way
up
of saying it.
energy
That's a good way of saying
because
Because it's very physical. That's
Yeah.
a very physical job.
if I don't use that energy, then I'm either mostly up throughout the night or I just get nippy. And no one likes it when I'm nippy.
She's getting better.
I'm getting better, I agree, but it was...
Now to get her back on keto, because that completely takes that away.
We haven't done that yet, just
We haven't
because of
started
cost. It is kind of
Yeah.
expensive to eat that way, but
It was super funny. My mom put me on keto, and she goes, "Kira, we're gonna put you on a diet." I was like, "No, we're not. Kira doesn't need or want a diet. It's a meat diet." Okay, we'll go with this diet. You're no longer allowed to have fruit. You're dead to me. Because we lived next door to
Well,
an apple orchard.
So the nice thing though is because she's not doing it for weight, like I'm doing it for weight, and my arthritis, she can have more of the fruit, but you get to have the berries and stuff that you really like.
I do. I love fat shakes. They're so.
And that was recommended by one of her doctors for autism, that it's supposed to help with autism. So that's
That was my neighbor then.
no, it was your doctor.
and I won't be doing it for diet or that stuff. It's just
Support.
because I like cheese and meat, and it's easier if all three of us are eating the same.
That is very
So-
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and Michelle also wanted to say how Kira is such a hard worker. So
True.
lots of people commenting on that. So thank you. She sure is. All right. Catherine King, have you thought of dry fitting the styrofoam insulation before gluing it in place?
Yeah. I know that I drive you guys nuts. Like, I know I do. My brain just processes a weird way, and I really thought that was going to cut right. So day 1 was working through all the kinks. Day 2, we just cut everything and put it up. Yeah.
Day 3 was a whole bunch of giggles.
Yeah. I think day 3 we got stuck in the truck, and you guys watched that video today.
Yesterday, because this is coming out Saturday. Yeah.
It's true, yesterday. So,
I was being a good girl and stayed home. I didn't know about this fun party they had without me.
in the truck, stuck in the snow.
It's just because we did a quick run to
run.
So we said quick run to town to upload videos, and
4 hours later.
And then they go, when they're on the hill, it's like, oh, we're stuck. It might take us a little bit
We
longer.
texted her.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. And I didn't feel like I needed to go down there. So I was like, yeah, they're probably only just going to be down there for like a few more minutes.
Yeah.
2 hours later.
Because we don't really get stuck. I mean, I know we've told you guys we've gotten stuck or whatever,
but we always get out of it.
in general, we usually get out of it, and we're not there for that length of
We
time.
were doing the old college drive.
We were.
We almost had him up to the top of
We
the hill.
did almost have it up. But now we've got all the chains and stuff, so the extra stuff.
Yes. And like an emergency kit in the truck with a shovel and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
Country Living Catherine said,
I like your name. That's really cool. Country living Catherine.
That's
That's awesome.
let's see here. If you put plastic on the walls, it will cause condensation to never do that. Is that okay with how you were doing your walls in this case? We kind of talked about that.
We did, and the whole purpose of the plastic, let me just state that, is in this area, that is what is kind of recommended. I was talking to Ambition Strikes, and if you guys aren't subscribed to them, you should go subscribe. They're really cool. I was talking to them, and they were saying that it's like a 50-50 thing. Some people swear by it, other people say don't do it. So the biggest issue of not doing it, is if you quickly create your envelope, like you quickly build your studs, you quickly get everything in there, and then you quickly get your drywall or whatever wall board you're doing on there. And then you've created that envelope so there's no sweating. But if you take time to do it, which is how we're doing it, because of cost, because of knowledge, because of all of those things, then you want to throw that plastic up there so that you have you have that barrier of stopping the warm air getting to the metal and the cold air, which is what causes the sweating. Same as on your cups, when you take a cold cup outside in the summertime and the cup sweats, that's the exact same thing. So by stopping that or slowing that down, then you don't have the sweating. But I like the way Randy put it, which was, you're running a wood stove that's way too big for the air, the place.
Yeah.
That I will end up downsizing that stove, because that stove will go be a garage stove. And then I will downsize to probably one that's for 1,000 square feet, which is still bigger than the area needs. So it will still dry out the air and do all of that kind of stuff. So it'll be able to breathe and it won't be a problem. So I'm going with that thought, and that I trust Randy. He's built in Alaska, he's built in Oregon, he's built here in Idaho, he's built in Texas, he's built all over.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
He has the knowledge.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna follow his lead on that and his suggestions, because he's been here long enough. But I do appreciate everybody saying something, because that's not something that I knew anything about being in Texas.
Yeah.
We just did not have that issue. And so moving here is a whole new thing. And my grandfather built houses, and I don't think he ever used the plastic either. So, but they used wood stoves to heat back then. So
Yeah.
same thing.
Terry wants to know, well, I guess it's not a want to know, but more of a suggestion. You'll get better adhesion with a lining glue as opposed to dabs. But that may not be as critical an issue with the framing, additional insulation, drywall holding it all in, which is the plan.
That
correct?
is exactly the thing on that. It just needs to be tacked up there until the wood framing goes in front of it, because that will hold it where it needs to go.
Exactly.
I don't know if you got one of the other questions of everybody saying put the ceiling up first and then the walls. Is that coming up? Okay. Then I won't answer it till then.
So Stanley said, have you thought of using two-sided sticky tape like used in carpet installation instead of glue?
I did not, and that is genius, and I would have done that if I would have known beforehand. But now I have all this glue that I bought, so I need to go through with using it first,
Yes.
and then if I need more, I'm going to go get the sticky tape.
Yes.
So, great idea.
Yvette said that she watches on her TV, but she said she has no ways to comment from the TV, so she now is using her computer to comment while she's watching us on the TV. And I just thought I'd bring that up because I also have family members that said the same thing. And if you can download YouTube on your phone, you can still watch it on the TV and then comment on your phone. And we love having the comments.
We really do.
It does help us out too, and
it helps us out, but I just love it. It's like when someone who normally, Danny, when you don't comment and so late in the day, I'm worried about you, man.
Yes.
Same with you, Bradley.
Yes. Yep. Bradley.
So
we're always happy to hear from Bradley.
Exactly. So it's one of those things that we have gotten to know you guys through your comments, and we get very excited. We're like, oh, so and so commented, and we that kind of thing. So it's just building that family of that YouTube family of people that we get used to seeing.
So basically what we're saying is comments. Like, even if you're watching it on the TV, download it on your phone. I know it's a pain, but once you get it done, it's easy. You can just watch it on the TV and comment as it's going.
Just turn your volume down on your phone, and it doesn't, then you can do all of your comments while you're watching on the big screen. So it's a good idea.
Yep. So Don said, make sure you tape the seams for the foam board.
Yeah.
It's a plan.
I have the tape. I don't think it's Gorilla Glue tape, but it is a tape that's to keep the air from going in and out, so it will seal that also. And I did not know that the back side with the words, so I'm glad I didn't flip them around just to mess with people, that the back side, it's facing the wall, and that also has a film on it that keeps the cold from coming in, or the heat hot from outside and the cold from coming in. So that's pretty cool to know.
Cher wants to know if rubbing a broom over the insulation above your head will help stick it onto the wall. And
It might.
I was gonna say, and we haven't quite talked about why we haven't put the ceiling up
Right.
first. So maybe that would be a prelude into that.
Okay. So if you look at the inside, I don't know if you guys can see it in the film, but there's actually this big square, probably 4 inch by 4 inch square tubing that then the ceiling and the walls are attached to when they make the shipping container. That sticks out quite a bit. So if I was to put the pink on the insulation on the ceiling and then put the walls, it wouldn't matter. That square would stick out, and so it wouldn't hold that up. So what's going to have to end up happening is I really like the idea of the double-sided tape. I actually think that's going to work perfect for the ceiling, for that pink foam insulation. And then you put your cross 2x3s, which is what we're using, across. And some people, I don't know if this is how I'm going to do it or not, but some people will run their electric and their water lines up there and then just drop them down where they need them. So then they're not cutting holes through their 2x3s or 2x4s. They do that mostly whenever they turn their 2x4s on side. Instead of your 2x4 going this way, it goes this way. So it's actually a 1.5 inch sticking out from the wall so that they have more floor space. We're not doing that because I want to put the rest of the insulation in there. I want at least that 3 more inches, so that equals 4 inches of insulation in the walls, which I think is important here with how cold it gets. Kira's dying over there.
I'm trying to work on my facial expressions, so I'm reading funny comments.
I gotcha.
Yeah, this one's of a cat with a funny face, and it goes, "When you're full, but someone brings you out a cake."
Exactly.
It's like,
that happened last night, Darla.
So I'm trying to get better at facial expressions, and the only thing I could think of was looking at funny pictures.
Is reading memes.
That's
So
funny.
we can't put the ceiling up first. I love the double-sided sticky tape. That's actually probably what I'm going to try, unless Randy tells me I shouldn't do the pink insulation on the roof and just to do the insulation that we have, because then it would be breathable. So I know something else that I really was planning on doing, and this is another reason why I may not do the pink insulation, is that whole top of that roof is going to be decked. And so when we put in the framing for the decking, if we did spray foam up there, which we could do in the summer,
Right.
and then put the decking down, it will do that extra insulation thing there. So if anybody's done that, or you've seen somebody do that, or you think that's a great idea or horrible idea, let me know below. And actually comment after this premiere is over, because then it will stick to the video. Otherwise, all of the comments in the live chat below, they disappear as soon as it's done premiering. So
Right.
in order for me to really see that and know that, and also to share that information with other people, if you put it in the comments once the premiere live section is over, then but I think that's going to work the best, and that would give us more headspace, because that's also an issue. It's only 7 feet 10 inches or 7 feet 11 inches to the ceiling, and so that would give us more space.
We've talked about why we want more headspace.
Exactly. We want tall husbands.
Okay, us two, not Kira. Okay.
Kira doesn't want a tall husband.
She wants one that's short, apparently.
No, this is a girl crew. Why do we need guys here?
We
We're
didn't say we needed guys. We just would like some.
Okay, fine. I will allow you two to both have one. But
We don't need any more than one.
Share?
Not yeah.
Let me finish.
Okay.
But they both have to be the housewives.
No. No, we like manly men.
Oh boy.
this girl. She's in in training.
Moving on.
My mom's failed me, apparently. They go, Kira, what's your opinion on this? I can do it myself. I don't need them. She goes, no, Kira, the proper way is, oh, that's so sweet of you. It's like,
thank
I
you.
can do it myself.
You just have to learn to say thank you. Move on. All right. What's our next
Speaking
question?
of moving on,
Okay.
Marianne, how come you didn't put the wood framing up first and then put the pink insulation up inside the frame? She was wondering, wouldn't it have saved a couple inches in the container?
It would have, but the whole point of that is creating that envelope so to keep the hot air and cold air from hitting the metal, so that it doesn't sweat.
Yeah, so instead of doing the 2x4, you'll have it one direction instead of the other, right?
Well, we're using a 2x3.
2x3,
so we're actually, and it will be 3 inches sticking out.
Yeah.
So there'll be 3 inches of more insulation. But this pink foam is basically replacing the spray foam, which can't afford to do.
Yeah.
So if we were to put an inch or 2 inches of spray foam down, we'd spray foam it, then frame in front of it, and that's basically what we're doing to create that envelope.
Right.
That's what they call it. I know it's been very confusing for everybody.
Stanley said that the tape, the two-sided tape, is called Echo, or cold weather double-sided tape.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go look for some because, like I said, I think that we possibly may be using. If we end up doing the pink foam on the ceiling, then that's exactly what we'll go use.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
The words there.
And if I would have known, I would have gotten that. I just heard everybody saying, make sure that you get the glue that doesn't melt the foam. So that was super important. The sticky side tape, that was probably a common sense one, and I missed it.
There's so many ways to skin a cat, so they say.
There really is. Nobody's skinning a cat. It's just a saying.
Yes.
It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One spoonful at a time.
Why would anybody want to make those?
They're horrible.
Who would want to eat an elephant?
I don't know. Someone who's really hungry.
I want to ride one.
I want to be my friend.
Glenda says, are you going to do a brick look behind the fireplace? What's the plan behind the fireplace?
We're going to do something. So I love the brick looks. But honestly, I think what I want to do is take the metal that we cut the big
that would be
hole
so cool.
out and create a backing with that is still the red and white metal.
Yeah.
Keeping it, not painting it or anything, just keeping it that. That's more what I'm leaning towards.
Cool.
Yeah. So the one thing about that might be a little weird is it's not all the way to the ceiling. So that it's not there. So we'd have to do something at the top.
I don't know. I think it will be cool.
I think it would be cool. But we could also, I don't know, Randy welds. Maybe he can weld it together and do something cool. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I have an idea. We'll have to talk about it later.
Yeah.
And as she said, I don't know how many of you caught it, but the wood stove doesn't get hot behind it. So
okay, I didn't know if we had any questions on that. So then I'm going to touch on that.
Yeah.
So that wood stove it's cold in the back. It does not get cold in the back. And you can put
hot. She means hot.
Yeah, sorry. It does not get hot in the back. It was 800 degrees. We blasted it to heat up the space really quick, and I could touch the back, and it was as warm as this chilling up hot tea that I have right now. Like, it just does not get hot, and it is a stove that is made to fit close to the walls. It's approved to use in mobile homes. It's that kind of stove. The heat only really blasts out the front and the top. And I have the, what is that, double ply stove pipe going on there right now, which I actually think I'm going to change to single because of the fact that it just doesn't radiate the heat as much. So we're going to see how that goes once we finish all the insulation and all of that stuff. The goal is to use the least amount of firewood as possible and stay as warm as possible, but we've acclimated to 20 degrees. When it's 20 degrees, we don't run heat at night. I mean, we've just acclimated to it. It has to be in the teens before we run heat at night. During the day, today with this wet fog though, I'm cold, and so I would be running the heat. So we're definitely going to stay warm in there. That's not going to be the problem. But I'd also like to, I'm worried about all the heat staying trapped up in the kitchen.
Right.
So we're obviously going to have fans and stuff like that set up. But yeah, we are going to put the metal or something rusticy cool. And I would really like to pay, what does that pay? Honor or pay? Homage?
Homage.
Right. This is like when you can't spell a word.
It's on
and
the
you
tip
just
of my
go,
tongue.
It's like right there. It's like right there.
Homage?
Homage? No. Is it homage? No. Anyway, that thing. To the shipping container and actually the piece that we have that we cut out of the wall has the big K on it.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I would like behind the wood stove. So that is going to go up to protect from all the stuff, but it actually doesn't need to, because that is 12 inches away from the wall, and I think it only has to be 2 inches. So it's like, it's way far away from the wall. So
I guess I was wrong. Sybil did ask that question.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it safe using that stuff close to the fire? So
Gotcha,
we
yeah.
answered your question, Sybil.
Yeah.
And Terry, we answered Terry's too. It must have warmed up. None of you look so painfully cold as what it was last week.
Ooh, it was, and when it was in the teens.
That was brutal.
That was brutal. And last year we only had 1 week of that in February, and we had almost 2 weeks of that in December this year. So this winter is colder, sooner, and colder and more snow than they've seen around here since 2013, I think is what was said. There was a huge storm in 2008, but the big issue and the reason why is the fact that it's not warming up enough for the snow to melt. It's actually doing that this week. We're in the high 30s, almost into the 40s this week, so everything's going to melt and it's pretty warm, but we've got this fog.
Yes.
This is 2 days now of the fog. 2 days of the fog, and so I walk out there and I just get chilled to the bone, which is why we're not out there working now.
And it's also the reason we have these beautiful lap blankets on. We have to show these because Deborah made these for us.
They are so beautiful. And we love them.
We do love them. And there is a video, but I don't know if we've been able to find it.
So what we did when we opened up Christmas presents, because we got all of them at the same time, we just ran video and opened them all up. Now I'm having to go back and rewatch that video constantly to find the video of them. So I'm going to do that today, get through all of that. And
but we do love them.
We do love them, and we just wanted to show them off and tell you how thankful we are for them, because they're just lovely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know this took a lot of time.
Yeah. We use them too.
Yes, we do. Let's see.
Thank you.
Melissa wants to know, are you going to put any of the foam board behind the cabinets or in the wall? On the wall?
So the foam board is the entire wall all the way down, minus the windows and doors. So it is put on everything, and then the framing is in front of that. So it will be behind the cabinets. It will be, which will help insulate the cabinets, because I know here in the RV our cabinets stay really cold. So there will be that. All of the installation will be behind all of that, and then the kitchen cabinets and everything will be finished out just like a regular house.
Donald says, are you gonna tape the seams? He's asking for a friend.
Oh, well, Donald, tell your friend that he better subscribe.
Yes.
Yes, we are taping all the seams.
I love it.
I wish we worked faster for you guys, because I feel like we stress you out, and we have slowed down. We worked so hard and so long days this summer.
We did.
I mean, it was just crazy.
It was dawn till past dusk. Every night we were exhausted.
And so we're kind of taking a physical break to let our bodies rest,
Heal
and heal from some injuries. And so, we're pretty comfortable, except for those couple of weeks in the teens.
Yeah.
So we've kind of just slowed down. And it's a little bit hard doing daily vlogs and going slow because you don't feel like you're doing much of anything. But it does motivate us to go out there and get things done. So I apologize that I'm sure we're stressing you guys out because, it's taking forever to get these specific things done.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, wait, are you going to do that? And we are. So,
but real life happens too. Like,
yeah.
We'll spend a day and it ends up the whole day is gone just us running errands because we need to get certain supplies and certain things for the animals and like just all
laundry,
of those things,
dishes,
and,
all of those
and
things.
then we also do have a life and we have friends, and
yeah,
you got to spend some time with them, quality time with them too.
Yeah, it's like we don't really work on Sunday because we go to church and we do activities with church. Wednesday nights we're busy with more church activities and stuff, and
Thursday
we go to a friend's house. Every Thursday we go to Randy and Darla's. They feed us and we just have great quality time and do more studying and that kind of stuff. So, that I think is keeping us from having the depression that I usually get in the winter time. So, but it's not really light until about 8 o'clock, where in the summertime it's light at 4:30.
Right.
So I'm up with the sun, and then it's dark here between 4:30 and 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, and then it just gets cold and you don't want to be out. So this time frame, we're not getting a whole lot done in every single video. And it's because our work hours are now so short. So,
it's how we stay positive, honestly.
It really is.
Like you guys who watched the video on the truck, a lot of people would be just like grumpy and that's a bad situation, but you know what? So be it. Let's make fun of it. Let's have fun. And the fact is that I get to hang out with my best friend, whether we're on the side of the mountain stuck in snow or whether we're in the RV or whether we're cleaning up bird mess.
Exactly.
It's,
And it's really funny because we weren't actually going to film any of that.
No.
And it was like, we better film this because we may be here all day and not have any video to put out.
Yeah.
And so we were like, all right, well, we'll go ahead and film it. But we had been sitting there cracking up for quite a while before we started filming.
I wish we had video on us almost all the time because seriously, some of our conversations, like last night in the truck on the way home from Darla and Randy's, we were just cracking up, and I'm like, oh, I just totally wish everybody could see this.
Because this is really who we are.
Yes.
Who you see us in the videos is literally who we are. That is not put on for the camera. That is not, that is who we are.
Yes.
And it's actually a really big deal because before I worked with my PTSD, I was grumpy and mad and would blow up and just, this is who I was in high school. And then I got my PTSD situation happened and I was no longer that person.
Yeah.
And so through a lot of work, through a lot of trust in God and that kind of stuff and developing that relationship and working on that relationship, I'm now pretty close back to being who I was. I obviously have my moments. I think as we all do. Mine just may get really intense. But
don't worry, her cooking skills are still amazing.
But it's man, if you just gotta find laughter. It is a choice. I remember I would get really mad and people would say happiness is a choice. Choose to be happy today regardless of what happens. And I'm like, but you don't understand what's happening. But really and truly it is a choice, and we were stuck on the side of the hill and we just had a good time. It really is a choice.
It's funny because my kids, as they were growing up, and they'd get grumpy and mad and, stomp off the room, and I'd be like, you're choosing whether you want to be happy or sad today, and this is your choice. And when you choose to be happy, you can come on out and hang out with me, and, and so true.
Yeah.
So
my
true.
mom would give me the saying is, you can be mad just the same as you can be happy in the same shoes you got mad in.
That's true.
That just annoyed me even more.
Yeah, when you're mad, when you're mad, that does not help.
Yeah. She couldn't find any of her chocolates that day.
But
Revenge was very sweet.
But yeah, I mean, this is who we are. We're not putting it on, so it's really funny, and we're like, wow, if that was on the camera, that'd be hysterical.
Honestly, that was like my best day, was the mountain, the side of the mountain being stuck. We had so much fun.
We had so much fun. Now, the next time we slid down the hill, that wasn't so much fun.
That was terrifying.
Terrifying.
Oh gosh, like the whole reason for that is there was so much slush and so much snow that we weren't going to put the chains on until we got up that first section, because...
So wait, this is a whole different time than the video you just saw on yesterday.
Yes.
So the other day, we were driving home, and down in we have a cul-de-sac basically before you come up the mountain, and it was probably 8 inches of slush.
Right.
And so I said, we should drive up to that other section where there's no slush, and we can easily put the chains on the tires for the really hard part. So we have one part that we never have a problem getting up.
Never have a problem.
And then we have the other part that we always have to put chains on, almost always have to put chains on. So that's what happened, and ready to go.
And so that section, we were like, okay, we've not ever had a problem going up this, so let's go ahead and just go up to that flat area where we can put the chains on. And as we're going up, we get almost to the very top of that section, almost to the flat spot, and we start going backwards.
And so that section of road, I think, is 700 feet.
Yeah.
I think that road length is like 700 feet. So we were probably at like 550.
Sliding backwards. And brakes, and I was freaking out, and I'm like trying to shove on the brakes. I'm trying to look in the rearview mirrors.
Yeah. So, it's dark.
It's dark.
It's dark.
And it's narrow, and there's trees on both sides. There's a bank on the left side, and, a mountain, and trees on the right side. And, my thoughts are, I'm going to go all the way through the little cul-de-sac at the end and run into the neighbor's living room.
And I just saw her hitting a tree and spinning out, and us going down the cliff.
So we are all like, ah!
I'm sitting in the back going,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, well, I guess this is how I go.
So we get to the bottom of the hill, and the truck stops, and we all just take a big deep breath, and then we just start busting out laughing. We're like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe we lived through that. It was so crazy.
They were starting to laugh, and I was like, I don't know why we're laughing.
That literally...
The stress relief.
The high stress. And then we didn't hit anything. We didn't go down any sides. We just we actually stopped.
We lived through it.
So we parked the truck and we walked up.
And we've been walking for 2 days now, up and down the hill.
It's our forced march. And it's like an ice skating rink on that road.
And just for those of you who ask, I don't know, I don't remember exactly how much, but my Fitbit says it's 1,200 steps, just one way.
Right.
So, how much did you figure it was in feet? Yards?
So we had yards. we had 700 feet to the beginning, that beginning hill, and then 1,200 feet, which is the driveway that we put in from scratch, and then we're about 500 feet from the property line. So we're looking at 2,400 feet.
That's how far we have to walk.
Yeah, that we walk uphill.
And we're not kidding. It is uphill. Almost the whole way.
Yeah.
So.
She sprints up it like nobody's business. She carries all the stuff, and it's all weighed down, and I'm got my phone trying not to fall.
Oh, and on our way down, they're going and I'm like, wee! Just sliding down.
She just slides down.
We have a video of her. It'll be in one of the upcoming videos of her standing up, sliding down the ice. So
we'll show you.
Be prepared to yell at her.
Yeah. And we're okay with that.
Okay. No. I am a good girl, so I'm allowed to have some fun.
I'm sitting right next to you.
I'm allowed to have fun, okay? Inside.
Till she falls and breaks an arm.
That's actually our concern.
That is our concern.
On that hill, any of us getting injured is detrimental to this building, to us being, having a warm place this winter.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
all of those things. So we're very, very cautious, and we're always yelling at her about mothering her.
Yeah, I still have to get the plate taken out of my foot from the surgery earlier in the spring, and I haven't done it because I know it's going to put me out for 6 weeks. And right now we just don't have the time for me to be out 6 weeks. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back onto the questions. Off our soapboxes. Our storytelling time.
I'd like it to also be known before we move on to storytelling time. It's still really fun.
So slide down on your feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least it's not my butt.
We need to get her some snowshoes.
We all need snowshoes.
I have snowshoes. I just don't want to use them because I feel guilty that they don't.
We'll put it on our wish list, okay?
Yeah.
Also, I can work through the pain just fine.
Okay, the Uber Gardener says, love seeing each of you beautiful people. Do you have garden plans for this year? And when would you be able to plant outside for our location?
So exactly how long can this video be? Because we have plans.
I'm not part of those plans.
Kim and I have so many plans.
There's a lot of plans.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do a video just on the
whole
garden.
video on gardening.
I can't help with gardening.
So she hates to garden. So what we're planning on doing is
gardening.
the whole area that the goats are in, which is the east to west fencing is 200 feet. The south to north on the front is 200 feet. But then on the north side, east to west is, I think it's like 100 feet. So it's kind of a wonky section. But anyway, that whole area is going to be cleared out. And most of it is going to end up being garden. So let's just say it's approximately 200 by 200 square. And we're planning on putting in a greenhouse, a self-heating greenhouse. So we're going to dig down into the earth and create all of that. And I can't remember exactly what that's called. Because we want to grow food all year round here. So that's the goal. And then we're doing fruit trees and berry bushes and all of those things for that. What?
So if it's in the ground, does that mean it's a ground house instead of a greenhouse?
Well, it's actually sticking out, and it's called greenhouse because it keeps things green on the inside.
Yes. Okay.
I'll explain it to her later. So I'd like to have kind of a small CSA type garden for people that live out here in my neighborhood and friends at church and stuff, where they could come and pick fresh vegetables year round. And then we're also producing what we want. Food preservation and storage is a really big deal to me. This is the very first time in my adult life that I do not have a very large pantry that could feed a family of 6 for at minimum a year.
So if the apocalypse happens, don't come here because we can't help you.
We can't help you.
We have nothing.
Got nada.
I can get you guys a deer, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, tons and tons of plans. We're super excited for that to be happening. And actually this weather right now would be perfect for going out there and cutting down trees. But we're trying to work on that, and we both are still dealing with our shoulder issues and that kind of thing. So hopefully we have another little bit of a warming spell that we can drop these trees, because those trees are going to be used for building the barn and the garage, and clearing all of that out.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And when second part of her question, when is our growing season here? It stays pretty cold all through April, doesn't it?
I think I'm trying to think of when I've started late the last 2 years. So I started, when did I break my foot? Because I was starting plants and they had to still be covered in like a little mini greenhouse thing when I broke my foot. Was that April?
I think it was.
No, March.
Was it March?
So that was March, and then we warmed up. But I think I'm considered 6B. I just apparently don't have enough information to answer that question.
Glenn wants to know, do any of us ever feel like calling it quits, or do you just keep each other going?
That is a great question.
Yes.
And the answer is
no.
Yes.
Never.
When I was here by myself when they left, it was like, this is a lot. Like, this is a lot of all by myself, which is really funny because normally I used to just love being by myself. And a lot of extremely hard work. I kudos to anybody that's doing this on their own and they don't have the option of getting friends or family members to come help them, because it's really hard and it's just not as much fun. And I would have to say, if I was completely doing it by myself, I don't know if I don't want to say that I don't know if I would make it, because I know me, I'm like one of those people that's like, I'll get it done. It definitely would not be as much fun.
So I think the answer to that is then yes, we just keep each other going.
Yeah.
Well,
That's I think exactly it.
well, for me, I want to let it all be known. I'm a follower. I pick a person to follow, and I follow them through and through. So whatever they do,
True.
I'll do.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
And for me, I just said the other day,
Yeah.
and it was literally while we were walking up the hill, and it was yucky and terrible, and I said, if we can make it through this, we can make it through anything.
That's true.
And I meant it with a whole positive attitude, because it's a bummer walking up the hills, but when you start walking up the hill, you're like, actually, this is pretty cool. This is really amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel great. I feel
Exercise is good.
in the best shape.
Yeah.
We might have a little fluff on us, but we are really actually
My shape
pretty
may be
physically-
round, but it's the best round.
Like, really, we are physically strong, and
Yeah.
we can make it up the hill without stopping a lot of times. So that's amazing.
If I didn't like cake so much, I'd be Cindy Crawford.
I don't like cake. What's my problem? Anyway, so thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yes, it is. Let's see, Heather. Barbara wants to
Bless
know, what about rock wool exterior insulation? From what I understand, you can glue it to the house, and it's fireproof and waterproof, and it helps the condensation.
Yes. Bless you.
Bless you.
I don't know if the stuff that I purchased last year, I don't think it's the rock wool, but it is the insulation that can get wet and be reused. But it doesn't look like the stuff that people are using that are using rock wool whenever they say this is what we're using. So I think it's something else, but it can get wet. Because when I talked to the company that I bought it from, it was going to be sitting out under tarps, and they were like, well, you have to use this kind, because if you get the pink kind, it won't, if it gets wet, it's ruined. So this stuff's not ruined. It got a little damp. It's not ruined. But I'm not gluing it to the walls. I definitely need, I guess if I would have known that fact, I probably would have bought that stuff first and done exactly that. That would have been great, because we would have been able to fill in the little bumps and all that kind of stuff with it. So that would have worked really well. But I'm going to be doing the regular framing. The pink foam was kind of the next step, cost wise, that I could afford to do, method that I could afford to do.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, I would definitely say the rock wool is good, and I haven't really seen it on the shelves around here.
No.
So, but I do know that Ambition Strikes used it. I think, pretty sure they used it for something. And so I don't know if they ordered it in or whatever. I don't know if that's a special order or what, but that stuff's pretty amazing.
Let's see. Katie did. Let's see. She was talking about how the snow is beautiful, but it makes her shiver every time she sees it, because she does not like the cold.
Yeah.
Wants to know about me and starting my YouTube channel, and have I picked a name? Yes. I have picked a name. Waking Up Country is the name. I do have a part of a video started. I have not got the rest of it finished, so it will be coming soon.
To be fair with that, she is filming for this channel. That is her job. So it's really hard to run 2 cameras.
Yeah, and I do stay pretty busy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of...
Because if I'm not filming, I am helping.
Right.
I do have a lot of different hats,
Right.
so to speak. So, and sometimes you get in your own head and trying to, it's hard to be fun by yourself and doing your own video, your own channel.
Well, I will be in your channel.
Well,
she'll be
in my videos, but we also don't want it to be exactly the same as
Redundant.
Heather's channel.
Yeah.
We want it to be fresh. So
Right.
it'll be coming out.
the big thing that was wanting to start your channel was doing the bees.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to do that without the
winter.
bees in the winter. So that was really
There's gonna be a lot of stuff like bees and flowers and just a whole blend of things. But
all of those things.
But pretty much right now it's gonna be living a country life when I'm used to the city life. Like it is. Everything is so different.
So
the other
different.
day, I was like looking under the back end of my truck when we were trying to help somebody else get unstuck, and I'm like, "There's a tire under there,"
and we started laughing.
She was laughing so hard. She's like, "That sounds hysterical." I didn't know. I never had a truck before. I did not know there was a tire under there. So yeah,
shame on the person that sold her that truck and did not tell her that.
It's my first truck, so I'm pretty excited about it. But anyways, yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah. So I do think that we're gonna start. She won't be doing daily videos. She'll probably start out with some weekly videos.
Right.
And we're just gonna say today is a day that we film for your channel.
That'd be
I think
awesome.
that's kind of how we're gonna need to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary's Homestead has a whole bunch of questions.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, We love you, Mary.
We do.
So question number 1. Do you have any turtles on your land?
I have not found any turtles.
No turtle. We would love to have turtles.
Yes.
Heather, they recommend 300, 500 on most wood stoves. I researched more, and most aftermarket thermostats will have it printed on them as the safest temps.
I don't think mine has it printed. I know it's got the orange color and then the red color and then get out of your house color. Like
I think it's funny. So Mary has question number 1 here, a couple comments, and then question number 5.
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know. A little drinking, Mary? I'm just saying. Let's see. Barbara says, no questions, just wanted to comment. She loves your dogs.
Oh,
We love them
they're
too.
so cool. Unless they make me do a forced march at 6 o'clock in the morning to go get them down the hill.
And they've done that a couple times. I told her to wake me up and I'll go with her. What are friends for, right?
Yeah.
Mary wants to know, are we going to get any hogs? At first I thought she wrote hot dogs. And I was like, hot dogs?
We are actually. So I'm looking at the Idaho pasture pig and the coony coon, however you pronounce that.
Yeah.
There's they're smaller because we're obviously small, but I want to keep my mind says I want to keep a breeding pair, and then I don't want to have to go through the hassle of finding pigs to raise for the year to process. But then also my mind says, it would be nice to just have 2 pigs for the processing and then process them and then not have to deal with pigs all year round.
Yeah.
So there's that too. But I definitely want to do like Justin Rhodes does, where his pigs work for him. So they're clearing out area. We've got a ton of area that needs to be cleared. So we do have enough work for pigs on the property to do. I kind of have this theory of you need to have more than one purpose.
Right.
So fertilizer, fiber, milk, meat, hides, there's got to be multiple reasons for the animal to be on the farm other than the dogs.
They're cute.
That never comes into it. I'm
For
like,
me, it does.
I'm like, ooh, look at the hide on that sucker. That'll be great finished out. I'm obviously a farm girl.
And I'm obviously a city girl. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. I just love him.
Yeah, I look at them. It's just like, oh, he'll taste good.
Yeah, Kira's like, yummy. So, as far as pigs, they do till. I am a lazy farmer. So, they're going to till up the deep litter method, which we're going to be doing in the barn throughout the winter time. And then you send the pigs in, they till everything up and you can easily move it. So there's that. There's eating all of the scraps. So there's zero waste. There's obviously meat. making money selling extra babies that we're not going to keep to raise. The issue with the Idaho pasture pigs and the coons is it's 18 months to butcher weight. So, but I don't want a 600-pound pig. I just do not want a big pig, but I also don't want 5 pigs on the property. Right. So, you know, I don't know. I'm tossing that all up, but yes, there will be pigs.
I just want bacon.
I really like bacon.
Okay.
We need those pigs with an extra rib then, because they have longer bellies and they have more bacon.
Ron has a simple question. Have you ever heard of a razor knife for cutting open boxes?
Why, yes, Ron. I have.
He says they work better and they're safer than scissors. Yes, but they're not always easily accessible, and the scissors are kept in the kitchen drawer.
Ron, have you watched me? I lose things all the time.
We actually have a couple of those. Just saying. Mary wants to know, how do you like your eggs cooked? Kira? She likes them scrambled really, really hard.
And burnt.
So they're brown.
Okay, let's get something good. I like them really brown. We're still working on it.
We don't have the pan that will allow you to burn things. Like,
well,
that's the issue.
The problem is it ruins the pans because you have to cook on a super high heat.
Yeah.
And the more you do that on some of these cookware, the more they burn.
And it ruins the pan.
So that's how Kira likes them.
I really like them burnt with cheese and salt.
There we go.
And soy sauce.
I like mine, I guess. Oh, so my favorite is actually over medium. That's actually my favorite.
Yeah. That's my favorite too. Over medium.
We just do a lot of scrambled eggs around here because it's easier.
We do soft scramble with cheese on it.
With cheese on it, yeah.
But, yeah. And I will do ketchup on mine.
No.
Neither one of them like ketchup.
The smell of ketchup makes me want to hurl.
Neither one of them like ketchup.
No.
I love ketchup.
Now,
I drown things in ketchup.
Homemade ketchup from scratch, I'll eat it all day long.
Never tried it.
All the bottled ketchup that they have on. So this summer she will be trying homemade ketchup, and that I can eat, and that I love. Still won't put it on my
never
eggs.
tried homemade mayonnaise either.
Oh, see, she's been abused her entire life.
I don't like mayonnaise, and she made me mayonnaise, and it's like, this is acceptable.
I make all the things from scratch. So
the problem is we can't do that in the RV. It's just too small a space, and
it's too small a space. There's no storage. So normally what I will do is I will make 5 pint jars of mustard and 5 pint jars of ketchup. Obviously the mayonnaise is made as you need it, or enough to just have one in the fridge. And then I'll put them in the pantry. And then I just keep everything in the pantry to make those from scratch. But you can't, or I can't make just one jar at a time. And it's too much of a mess. And I can't wait for the kitchen to be done in the shipping container, because then we can do those things.
Okay, and I want to say something. I am the most pickiest eater these two know.
The most.
Yeah, absolutely.
She made coleslaw, and I hate it. It's so gross. She made it. The whole bowl was gone within like 10 minutes.
She likes fresh. She likes fresh vegetables. She doesn't like the stuff that's like
nothing cooked, just fresh veggies.
I like carrots. I like broccoli. The broccoli can be steamed, but has to have cheese, otherwise I won't eat it. And then
the question was eggs. The question was eggs. Moving on. We only have a certain amount of time.
I think we're past an hour.
We are, but you know what? The last one was so short that I feel like
was short.
If this one's a little bit longer, I don't think people will be too upset. I don't know. Tell us.
I hope not.
Are you upset?
Are you mad that we went past an hour already?
Let's see. Connie the Brain Tumor Warrior wants to know, do y'all like the weather I sent ya?
You girl are mean. Just mean.
No, it's warming up. I like it.
She sent us all that cold weather.
I'd be okay with
that
it.
-30.
I'd be okay with it as long as I was hibernating. We have to work in this, so
that's true.
Without shame on you.
Kimmy, did you get the Dodge unstuck? That's Mary's question. Yes and no and yes.
And with some friends.
It is currently unstuck, but at the bottom of the hill because we can't get it up. So let's see.
Nature laughed at us and said, "No, you're walking."
It's okay. We need the exercise. Mary wants to know, do we drink cream in your coffee?
I do. I'm like a latte type of girl.
I'm just half and half and a little sugar.
Yeah.
And whatever this person makes.
They do creamer and half and all of the
Sweetener,
things.
all the things.
Do y'all drink hot tea? I do not. Those two do.
I do. She does too. London fogs are my favorite. That's actually what I'm drinking now.
Russell wants to know, is there going to be a doorway in the framed wall of the container or just a window?
There will just be a window.
Yeah.
There'll be a sliding glass door further down where right across from the living room area.
Heather wants to know, can we name the the shipping container, because we can lodge?
Yes.
We actually love that, Heather. Thank you. That's awesome.
So there's a thing that I love. It's extremely elusive.
Yes. The moose.
So probably be the Moose Lodge, because I'm probably going to decorate it in moose things. And everywhere I go, pretty much, a moose shows up after I leave.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. There, we left church, and then there was a big old moose in front of the church.
Walking past the church.
We leave our
Post
friend's
falls.
house. They have moose there.
Throw a picture up of a moose there. Post falls. Someone will post that there's a moose there, and I'm like, why? I want to see the moose.
Let's see. We have a couple more. That's a duplicate. I just wanted to bring up something. We've had a couple naysayers, haters in our comments. There's always that one.
Yeah.
And we really
There's that
appreciate
one
y'all being so supportive and, saying, this is not okay. I just wanted to put that out there. We do appreciate you when you do that. That's almost it for
That's
my
pretty
questions.
much it.
I do have, just in my notes, I have a couple more questions.
Yeah, so what Kim's been doing is pulling questions out of the comments, and then of course all the questions on the questionnaire post that I have, because there's some things that I'll put a little bit of an answer, but they really need more discussion, or the insulation is such a big deal, and I get that, and a lot of people are asking about that, and the big thing that I've seen is people do their insulation and then they never talk about it again. So you don't know if it actually works well or not.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard in these metal buildings and stuff. And I know a couple of other people that are doing the barnuminiums that have had a real problem with the sweating of the walls and that kind of thing. And they're dealing with it with the plastic. And that's, and again, it's because they, like me, are building slowly. So it's not like, oh, I've got all of the material and can finish this project very quickly and then take my time on the actual interior stuff. We're on an extremely strict budget, and YouTube has just now started paying us. So
it's not much.
It's not much, and that's basically the money that I'm trying to just now use. That if whatever materials I can buy with that's what we build with during the month.
Yeah.
So it just pretty much is just a small amount. So as of now, it's just a small amount.
Yeah.
It has a potential to be quite a bit, and that will be great, and that'll help with the other builds.
And the gift cards that you guys have been sending has been helpful.
So
and
helpful.
We supplement that with, getting supplies that we need. So we appreciate
really appreciate that. Those that's what helped buy all the pink insulation. I bought the other insulation that we're going to be using last year, and so I had that already. But that's what helped buy all the pink insulation and stuff. And
I do have one final question to throw out there, and it kind of goes along the line of this, and I say it as the last just because it's a hard subject for us. 50 Shades of Green wanted to know if you have an Amazon wish list so we can send you guys something you need for the build or for yourselves. If not, could you set one up?
We're working on setting one up.
Yeah.
It's
hard because
I think I'm one of those I made my bed, I'll lay in it kind of persons. Like, this is a hard life to live, and
we chose it.
And so there are so many people that are worse off and whatever. And I get that you guys are invested in us. You've come to just love us, and we appreciate that. Some of you just are like those girls.
Some of you don't love us.
Don't love us at all. They have psychiatrists for that because we're great.
What's not to love?
Exactly. So we are putting that together, and the biggest thing right now, the hardest thing right now is we have no space, and we can't buy everything and just store it in our garage or store it in the shop or whatever. There actually aren't any available storage spaces in the storage facilities, so we couldn't even just like rent a storage, but then that's also $100 a month that could be going towards stuff. So that's why we had said that gift cards would be really great, because then we could combine them all. The things that I need are very expensive.
Yeah. And we feel selfish asking for stuff like that,
Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm asking for a $300 tool, it's like I don't want somebody to spend that much money, and I feel guilty about that. So, I mean, I know there are people out there that have that, and that's not a big deal to them. That's actually just a really big deal to me, because it's a lot of money. So
we'll get something out there, but it is a hard thing for us.
We have to wrap our
We feel like we're asking for things from people, and we're not good at asking for help, number one. Number two, asking for things is a totally different thing. So.
Exactly.
So, but we appreciate that you want to send us
And the
things.
thing is so once the shipping container's done, and there's like decorative items, that we're particularly how we're wanting to decorate it and that kind of stuff, that'll be a lot easier, because those are less expensive things. But tools are very expensive, and that kind of thing. So,
and gear,
winter gear and coats
gloves
and stuff.
all that stuff.
I'm working on sponsors for the channel that can supply some of those things and that kind of stuff. So, we're getting ready to start adding those things, even though sponsors, people think, oh, you make a ton of money on sponsors. You don't always make a ton of money on sponsors. Sometimes you just get the gear, and we are a small channel. So right now that's who we are. But that's also a great thing. So, it's just hard. Kira has put together one. It's easier for her to pick things that she likes that aren't super expensive. The things that I need right now are more tools and materials.
So, on my part, I get overly stressed out when people ask me what I want. It's just like, oh, I gotta do this to me. Because I feel so bad. I am not gentle with any of my things. And when people get me presents, I want to store them so they don't get ruined. Because then I feel bad if I had to end up throwing them away because I'm not gentle. I don't own anything white for reasons. So
it's really just us needing to get over it and understanding that that's part of this process, that people watch the channel, you guys get invested, and I get it. I'm invested in some YouTubers also. So, I mean, I do understand that, and it's just us needing to get out of the way. And so we are working on that. We will be doing it. We will be getting those up, and I will be getting those. So in the description of all of the videos, there are things that we have on there, and I am an Amazon affiliate, so there's a link there that I guess if you go shop on that, you log in with that link, that when you shop on Amazon, that gives a small percentage back to me, but it may be wrong. I don't know. I gotta figure it out, see if I did it right, but all of those things. But I think we're way over an hour now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're at like an hour and 20 minutes. So we're going to get off of here and kind of end the video, and we really appreciate you guys. We love doing these premiere videos.
We do.
And we are going to be doing a live. We've been practicing with, or we had one of our videos for the members where we practiced, and it worked out really well. So we can do a live for everybody.
Once we hit 5,000.
That's exactly what we're going to do. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate you, and keep commenting. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I hope that we answered your questions.
Keep those questions coming.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.